So this is my youngest son's guitar, and I just restringed it. I had some aviation snips, and they would not snip these smallest strings. These are extra light strings, so they just kind of bent in the blade, and I gotta cut them later. So this is a marigold, and not a super expensive guitar. It's short scale. So my other two kids got these Vox guitars, and one of them I suspected is possibly still is a lefty, so I traded necks, and that made the middle son's guitar easier to just flip. I guess the piece there, what the heck's it, the nut. It's been so long since I worked on a guitar. And, they needed some intonation, and I'll tell you one thing I do not like about short scale guitars is that although a negative is kind of that my hands and fingers are too fat and all to play, which is why I have some wider fretboard acoustics, but these are made probably for short people or people with smaller hands, smaller fingers, or less fat fingers. But the tuning is so a minor turn on the tuning pegs makes a major impact. And if you have some kind of tuning issues with the guitar, it's hard to keep them in tune. I did not buy this marigold guitar new. I bought a deal on, I believe, 2 Ovation guitars. I said, I'll offer you this. It was a pretty small amount. We got a good deal on everything because I didn't think that they included the hard cases, according to some of the employees that were there previously. So I came into the pawn shop and I said, I didn't say this, but I had a number in my head based on maybe needing a hard case for these Ovations because they require a special case. So I made an offer and they accepted it, the owner, and then he pulled out the hard cases for him and he gave me this, and here's why this probably never got set up. He gave me some strings that were EJ11 acoustic strings. So I never bothered until just recently to get some real electric strings. I got some extra light strings, and what can I say about this? It is majorly out of intonation, and I hope I don't break any strings just going back and forth trying to adjust the intonation on it, because when these strings are pretty much in tune and you do a chord and you strum it, it sounds like a piano that is like way out of tune, like that wobbliness, or maybe like an old reel-to-reel tape or something that is, Here's the back of it. Now, only briefly tried to wipe it down and clean it to make it just look okay. There is some rust on it that we might have to change out some screws or something, but it's got these open, I guess, tuning gears here, and they either suck bad or they just need to be oiled and stuff. Before I put the new strings on here, I plugged it in just to make sure the pickup and stuff was working. But these are a pain in the butt to unscrew and screw or tune or whatever. Let's get a good look here. So I thought when I was working on them, I'm like, if this guitar turns out to be decent, we might have to replace these tuners. But I'm going to try my best later to just oil them up, lube them up. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to adjust the string height, but it's possible. But with these extra light strings, I'm not sure how much, vibration, reverberation, or whatever they're going to get before they start, just going me, like hitting the fretboard or something. So I don't know, like I said, how much we're going to be able to do there. So how does this sound? Flat, it does not sound very good, and I probably will make adjustments later to the pickup height to try to it's probably a little bit low, because sometimes when you hit the strings with the amplifier on it, you got to hit them a little harder for it to pick up better. Maybe if that pickup was just a little bit closer to the high strings, high E, it might pick up a little bit better. And I got kids screaming in the background. This is normal when we do garden vlogs and everything. Kids coming out, "Daddy, I gotta go wipe my butt, you know. Mama wants you." Somebody has to go to the bathroom. Somebody's hungry. Somebody needs you. So I haven't really been in a hurry to get the intonation fixed on this, just because I know our youngest can't really play, and he's not going to know much difference. Now I do. So back to, what does it sound like? You know, flat. You know, it doesn't sound that great, but you know, if you adjust the bass down a little bit, the treble up a little bit on the amplifier, it does sound better, and it sounds better distorted. And I got some good squealies and stuff on there, some harmonics, and even though my fingers are too fat to do a lot of good chords on these short scale guitars, I can definitely still get a little bit of shredding up there, you know, and make it squeal a little bit. But you know, it might, if it turns out to be a really good guitar, it might even be worth getting a new pickup, or maybe a double or triple pickup there, if you can find something to that would fit this design, this pickup guard. Again, I guess the first two things is getting the intonation right and seeing if we can get those tuners to loosen up some instead of being super hard to turn and almost like blistering to your fingers. And as you can see, there's no tone control anywhere. That's why I said, you know, flat, you know, just with everything in the middle, doesn't sound that great. So, you know, when you have just volume, you're going to have to adjust your amp settings to get the tone you want, or at least the best tone you can out of the guitar.
Daddy, is that a video? Let's try to do WSHGs, because this is it's a video.
Alright, you're starting out good, ain't you?
I'm doing like this.